Oh.
At the door, we talk about the things they hide. Real talk.
Oh, they keep on interrupting my song. All right.
Welcome to the unfiltered corner. Pull up a chair, leave the mask at the door. We talk about the things they hide. Real talk, real life, nothing brushed aside. It's the unforgettable, yeah. Remember the name. Oh, yeah. We talk about topics, we say what we mean. No games, we keep it real and raw. Let the truth come through. Judgment free zone. This space is for you. Come get comfortable, relax, get loose. Kick off your day, shake off that bruise. Welcome to the unfiltered corner. It's true. The unforgettables here. And we're riding with you. The unforgettables here. And we're riding with you.
Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Unfiltered Quarter. I am your host, the Unforgettable. How is everybody doing tonight on this beautiful evening? Hold on, you guys. I'm trying to get everybody on here. I usually send invites to everybody. Sometimes they're not pay, they don't get notifications. So what I do is I send them notifications when I'm live, so they know I'm live. And so that way people know that it's time to come to the Unfiltered Corner with your host, the Unforgettable, you guys. I hope everybody had a lovely Thursday. I'm just trying to like send this all to these people. Send it all to my friends. So everybody could come join me. They have time. I just send it all to them, and whoever comes in, comes in. Whoever doesn't, doesn't. It's all good. How's everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's doing well. Okay. I think we've sent it all to my peoples. You guys. What's good? What's good? Hello, Dallas. How are you? Welcome to the Unfiltered Corner. Like I said, I'm your host, the Unforgettable. And tonight, we will be talking about a great topic, you guys. Thank you for being here with me tonight. We're going to talk about, I didn't sign up to be the default parent. Hello, Jamin. Hello, Saxo. How are you? Thank you guys for being here tonight. We're going to talk about, I didn't sign up to be the default parent. And I'm going to explain to you guys what that means. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. And you turn on your notifications. We always talk some good topics here, all right? So make sure you like and you subscribe and you turn on your notifications. I'm doing well, Dallas. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. So tonight we're going to talk about, I didn't sign up to be the default parent. You know what that means? So you know how there's two parents and then there's one working and then there's one taking up the rest of the responsibility? Those type of parents. So basically the person that's taking up the rest of the responsibility, not the person working, or sometimes the other parent is working, but they hold most of the slack in the family. They take care of everything mentally. They take care of the kids' appointments. They take care of the kids' sports. They take care of the everything. That's the default parent. And when you're with somebody, you don't sign, and you have kids with somebody, you don't decide to become the default parent, because it's supposed to be 50-50. You both are supposed to take care of your kids together. That's what we're talking about tonight. Absolutely, Laker. Mothers normally do, but at the end of the day, everybody has to understand it's both supposed to be mom and dad, because there are moms out here that do work a 9 to 5 job, and they wake up extra early to make sure their husbands have lunch, to make sure the kids have lunch, to make sure the kids are on the bus, then they go to work. And then they come home and they have to clean and do the laundry and doing everything else. So they have just as bad as a job as a man. A man can go work a 9 to 5 and then he thinks he's clocked out for the rest of the day. He doesn't have to do anything. Same as vice versa. There's some women that'll work and then think that they just clock out. They don't have to help the dad either. And it's crazy. So that's what we're talking about tonight. and the toll it takes on the other person and on the other parent. Yo, I see this all the time, and it happens to me too. That's what we're talking about. Talking about this shit tonight. I didn't sign up to be the default parent, right? I signed up for a partner. We don't sign up for a default parent. We sign up for a partner. 50-50. We're supposed to take care of our kids together. You know what I'm saying? I get it. It's draining when a man or a woman is working. But at the end of the day, your responsibilities don't end there. You have children. You have to take care of your responsibilities at home too, with your wife, with your boyfriend, your husband, and the children and the family. Your responsibility doesn't end when you clock out of work and then you come home and you think it's like, oh, free time the whole time. Absolutely not. And this often occurs, and I know this may sound sexist, but usually it's the woman that takes up most of the responsibility. The man thinks that once he clocks out of work, all he has to do is just come home and do shit. And he doesn't have to do any. They have the mindset of, look, well, I work. I don't have to help with the chores around the house. I work. I don't have to do anything. I work. I don't have to take care of the kids. I work. I don't have to take the kids to appointments. These are the mindset of certain men. I'm not saying all, okay? And vice versa. There's men that are stay-at-home dads and moms are out there making the bread. And then the moms thinks because they clock out, because they're the ones making the bread, that they don't have to help at home. That's a crock of shit, you guys. That's bullshit. If you guys are making kids together and you're working and you're supposed to be 50-50, you're supposed to help with your kids. You're supposed to help with what's going on at home. It's not one side or the other. 50-50. And I get it. Some days you're tired, right? And you let your partner know. It's all about communication. You say, listen, I feel tired today. I feel sick. But for it to be an everyday thing, that's when it becomes a problem. But somehow I became the one who remembers everything, right? You become the person that remembers everything, plans everything, fixes everything, while you help, because it's in quotations. They supposedly help, right? You plan everything, you do everything, you fix up everything, you do dinner, you clean, you do everything. And then it's like the person helps, okay? When it's convenient. They help when it's convenient. And let's be real. If I have to ask you, remind you, and explain it, that's not help. That's me managing you. Basically, you're managing the person. If you have to ask your partner for help with your children and any chores around the house, I'm alive. When any chores around the house, if you have to like tell your partner, you got to help me with the children, help me with the house, help me with the other chores, or help me with anything, then you know what? That's not even your partner. You're managing that person already. That's like a fifth child. And it sucks because there's a lot of parents out here that are dealing with that, men and women. But at the end of the day, you already know mostly it's women that got to deal with this, okay? Men think because they clock out of work, their job is done. And that's not the way it works, okay? Because women's jobs are just as hard as a man. Because we're nurses, we're maids, we're Ubers, we're a little bit of everything. We do everything, and there's no time off for us. We can't afford to get sick as mothers and as wives, right? And let's be real. If I have to ask you, remind you, and explain to you, that's not help. That's managing you, all right? You get to clock out. The other person that works gets to clock out. I don't. My brain is on 24/7. Your brain is on 24/7. You're the default parent. They get to clock out of work. You don't. You don't get lunch breaks. You don't get 15-minute breaks. Absolutely not. It's just 24/7 you're doing something for your partner or your children or the house or anything else. School schedules, doctor's appointments, what we're eating, what we're missing, what's coming next. And the crazy part, you think doing one or two tasks makes us even. That's the funny part. Some men think because they do one or two things that makes it even with their wife or their partner. And that's not right. One or two tasks. We need to be even. We need to both put effort into this relationship and into this marriage. We need to put effort into our children and into the household. Okay? No, you completed a task, I carried the entire system. They complete one task and you carry the entire system, okay? And what really gets to me, you see me drowning and still wait for instructions. They will see you drowning and still wait for instructions or wait for you to ask for help. That's fucked up. They will see that you need help. They could see you with your hands full and dealing with 20,000 things, and they will still have the audacity to wait for you to ask them for help, okay? Like I'm supposed to hand you a to-do list instead of you stepping up and doing it on your own. You're not supposed to tell your partner, give them a to-do list. This is everything that needs to be done today. They need to step up. They need to help with the children and the house and everything that's going on in the house. I'm not asking for help anymore. I'm asking for awareness, initiative, and responsibility. It should come out of your partner to help you. You don't have to be asking. They see what you go through on a daily basis. They see how your hands are tied. They see you're cooking dinner. They see you're busy with the kids. They see that you're busy doing homework with the kids. They see you're going to appointments with the kids. They see everything. They should take initiative to try to help you, okay? Because I didn't sign up to raise kids and a grown adult. That's where it comes down to. We didn't sign up to raise kids and a grown adult. If you're an adult in a relationship with children in a household, your wife or your husband is not raising you and the children, because nobody signed up for that, all right? I wanted a partner, not another person to manage, okay? Now we're going to get into it, okay? We're going to get into this topic because it's very important, all right? Give me 1 minute, you guys. We're going to get into this topic. It's very important. All right? Raw, emotional, slightly petty, and very relatable. We're going to talk about it. This is for the partner who didn't realize they'd become the project manager of an entire household. Basically, the person in the relationship that is in charge of everything in the whole household. Okay? And now we're going to talk about how you ended up there. Okay? Start with a real life scenario. Okay? You're the one that calls the schools. You're the ones that receives the calls from the schools, from the nurses. You're the one that receives a call from the school principal, from the counselors. You're the one making those calls too. Okay? You know the doctor's name, the shoe size, the favorite snack, the lunches that need to be packed up. You know it all because you're the one doing it all every single day. Okay? You pack the bags. You plan the schedules. You remember everything. Meanwhile, the other parent, and like I said earlier, usually it's men that is the other parent. And the woman is carrying most of the load in the household with the kids and everything else, okay? Meanwhile, the other parent will tell you, just tell me what you need me to do. Why do you need to tell the other parent? Just tell, what you need them to do. They know what they need to do. They see you. They see what you're doing. They know what's their responsibility. Their responsibility doesn't end because they they finish working. You get where I'm coming from, you guys? Hold on. Meanwhile, you see the person needing the help that they need and everything. You know what I'm saying? You know what's going on. You know what's your role in a household, okay? I didn't become the default parent overnight. You don't become the default parent overnight. Absolutely not. It happens every time you didn't show up. You don't become the default parent overnight. It happens every single time the other parent never shows up. It happens every single time the other parent doesn't do the dishes. It happens every time the other parent doesn't pick up slack with the kids. It happens every time the other parent doesn't take the kids to appointments. It happens every time that they don't take the kids to extracurricular activities. It happens every single time. It happened when the other parent never picked up the slack for you or never did it. You didn't become the default parent overnight. You had to pick up the slack because the other parent wasn't helping. You get where I'm coming from, you guys? And we're going to break it down to you guys. What is a default parent, okay? The default parent is the one who anticipates needs before they happen. They're already thinking ahead. Okay, this is what we need to get done. This is what I need to do. This is the appointments I need to set up. These are the things I need to buy. These are the groceries I need to get. These are the household supplies I need to buy. Like, the default parent anticipates everything that's needed before they happen, okay? The default parent carries the mental load. They carry it all. The mental load, the emotional load, everything. Because yes, a man goes out to work. Absolutely. A man goes out to work, right? And he does a 9 to 5 or whatever hours they work. But once they clock out, it's nothing. That's it. But at least they get breaks. The default parent doesn't get breaks. And they carry not only the physical load in the house, but and sometimes some of these parents also work. So some parents, like the default parent, sometimes works, carries the physical and the mental load in the household. And for those that are home caregivers, like the ones that take care of the house, homemakers, they carry the mental load. And that's just as draining as the physical load, okay? The default parent is always the go-to parent because the kids know who to come to. They don't go to the other parent because the other parent isn't involved. They really don't like connecting with that other parent because they're not making the effort to do things with them. So the go-to parent becomes the default parent, where the kids know they can come to, talk to them, ask them questions, ask them for favors, ask them for things they need, ask them to cook them something. That's the go-to parent, okay? All right, that's the go-to parent. Not always about the gender, you guys, but let's be honest, it often is. It's usually the woman. It's not about the gender, but it's usually the woman that has to deal with this situation, okay? Default parenting isn't just doing more. It's thinking more, remembering more, being on call 24/7. It isn't only just doing more. It's thinking more, brain overload, remembering everything, all the appointments, everything you guys got to get done, everything that needs to be done, and being on call 24/7. There's no off button for the default parent, okay? Now we're going to talk about you help, but you're not responsible. This goes to the other parent, not the default parent, okay? They help, but they're not responsible. The difference between being told what to do versus taking initiative. Difference between told what to do than taking initiative. I don't need to tell a grown man to come help me with the kids or wake him up in the morning to help me. You hear my fight every morning. You hear every single time I'm telling my child to get up and your child to get up. They need to go to school. They need to shower. The bus is going to come at a certain time. You hear me every single day. You hear my battles every single morning with these kids. You see every single day what I do. Why do I need to tell a grown man when they can just take initiative, okay? The frustration of delegating like a manager instead of having a partner. You have to send the other parent to do shit and delegate it. Like if you're the manager, you're the boss, and you got to tell them what to do. You got to guide them. Instead of having a partner that's going to take initiative and do it themselves and put their part, right? Helping, in quotation marks, right, still puts ownership on one person. They help a little bit, but one person continues to carry the whole fucking load, okay? If I have to ask you, remind you, and explain it, that's not help. That's management. It's not help. I'm your boss at this point. You're my 5th child, because I have 4 children. You're my 5th child at this point, okay? Now we're going to talk about the resentment nobody talks about when you become the default parent, okay? It starts really small. It starts with, it's fine, I'll just do it. That's exactly how it starts. I'll be like, no, don't worry about it. I'll get it done. Don't worry, I'll do it. That's exactly how it starts. Then it turns into irritation, emotional distance, and feeling unappreciated and alone. You start to get irritated and annoyed with the shit already. Okay? You start to get irritated. At first, you're like, just, it's whatever, I'll get it done. Then you start getting irritated about the whole situation because now you're carrying the whole load by yourself. This partner is there. They think they don't have the responsibilities just as much as you do when they're the parent also. So it starts to get annoying and it starts pissing you off. Okay? And then you start emotionally distancing yourself from your partner because you're like, dude, this person is not taking into consideration everything I'm doing and they're not offering to help. And when they do the most minimum and they think that's just good enough. They don't even do the whole helping thing. They do just a little bit of it just to make it look like they're helping. So you start to emotionally distance yourself from your partner. And then you start to feel unappreciated and alone. You start to feel like nobody appreciates your work in the house, you know? I feel like that. I feel like I'm unappreciated and I feel alone because I catch myself doing things 24 hours a day, the cooking, and I catch myself on a routine every single day. Wake up, the kids, the battle in the morning, let's go. You guys got to be off to school. Okay, I got to go. I got to get the dishes done. I got to get this done, the laundry done. I got to be running around. I got to go run errands. It becomes a routine every fucking day. And then it's like, oh my God, I got to hurry up and get upstairs, finish what I'm getting done. And then I got to, oh my God, I got to do my show. And I got to get dinner done before I do my show. And I got to do this, that, and the third and make sure that these kids are good. And it becomes crazy. Make sure that these kids are doing good in school. My son's prom is coming up and his graduation and his girlfriend's prom is coming up. So I have to be working on those things too. That's another load on top of me. You get what I'm saying, you guys? I don't even want help anymore at this point. I want you to see it without me begging. It gets to a point that you don't even want help anymore. You want them to see it on their own. And sometimes, unfortunately, there's certain people that will never see it. There's certain partners that will never see it. You're going to have to beg and beg and beg. And no matter how many times you beg, they will never see it and never take initiative and do it on their own. No matter what. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about weaponized incompetence. Acting like you don't know how, that's in quotations, to avoid responsibility. That parent, not the default parent, the parent that doesn't help around much because they think that they clocked out of work and that's all they got to do and put into the house because they provide financially. They think that's all they have to do and give into the household. They act like they don't know how to do something to avoid the responsibility to help out, which fucking sucks. They start doing things wrong, so you're not asking them again. Weaponized incompetence. It's just weaponized, so you don't ask them again. So you're not bothering them. They do it purposely. They'll tell you, just tell me what to do, in quotation marks. And what that means, and it's equal to learned helplessness. Just tell me what I need to do. I don't need to tell you what you need to do. You know what the fuck needs to be done. And we don't need to be going around in circles. I don't need to beg you. I don't need to ask you. You know what needs to be done. You know your role. You decided to have children with me. You need to help me out. You decided to play house with me. You need to help around the house. Because I put in as much work as you do. That's the way it works, okay? You're not confused, okay? You're comfortable letting me carry it. Some of these people, these parents that don't want to help around the house, they're not confused. They're just comfortable letting you carry the whole load by yourself. And they don't give a fuck. And they could care less. They're happy with you carrying the load all by yourself. So they're not confused, remember that. They're just comfortable with letting you do everything around the house and they don't want to help. They don't want to help with the kids. They're comfortable with you doing it on your own, with your kids, with your household, with everything, with appointments, with everything. They're comfortable with letting you do it on your own. Okay? Now we're going to talk about the mental load breakdown. What it becomes a big mental load on the default parent. Okay? The mental load, scheduling appointments, keeping track of school events, You need to keep track of school events, any games they have in school, any meetings you have set up with the school. If your kids have IEPs, all the annual or every 2-year IEP meetings, or sometimes they kind of like check in with you if your child's struggling. You have to keep track of all this. The scheduling of appointments with dentists and doctors and special doctors. If they need to see special doctors, you need to keep up with that. This is to the default doctor. It's a the default partner. It's a mental load, okay? Planning meals, dinner, breakfast, lunch, everything. On the weekends, doing the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. During the week, it's sometimes breakfast. The lunch, not so much, because the kids have lunch at school, or sometimes they'll take something from home. Or the dinner is planning the meals, okay? The default parent carry the mental load of remembering birthdays, forms, routines, and everything that goes on around the house. All right? You did one task. That other partner did one task, the one that doesn't like to help. I ran the entire system. A lot of us women ran the entire system. One task is just not good enough. Don't think this is even. Just because you did one thing, don't expect a trophy. Because if it was like that, I would have many trophies, okay? Now we need to talk about when love starts feeling like an obligation when it comes to this default parent, okay? You start feeling like a parent to your partner. And it should never be like that. You should never feel like you're a manager, a boss, or a parent to your partner. Like you're carrying a load of another child. It should never feel that way. It should be equal. It should be a partner that's equally responsible as you. It starts feeling like not a teammate, but a caretaker. You start to feel like your partner's caretaker too. You take care of your kids, and then on top of that, you need to take care of a grown man or a grown woman. Because I know there's fathers too that do their thing, and the mother works and brings in the bread, and she doesn't want to help out with the kids too. But usually it's the women that carry this load. Okay, so you start to feel like the caretaker of every single person, even their partner. The shift from we're in this together, because we made the babies together, right? We played house together, to it's all on you, all on me. It goes from we're in this together till it's all on me. That's what it feels like. There's no more we're in this together, we're going to do this together. We played house together, we had children together. But it falls on one person, all on me. Now, we're going to talk about, is this fixable? Can roles be rebalanced is the question. And I think so. I think if the other partner that is not the default partner, the partner that barely helps, puts in effort and listens to their partner and listens and takes it in and decides to help, maybe it's fixable. But it depends who you're dealing with. Sometimes some women deal with some narcissistic men, some egotistical men, some men that think because they provide financially that they don't have to help with anybody, anything else around the house or with anybody. That they don't have to take up any responsibility else. Nothing. That their job is done within the home as soon as they punch out of work and they come home. Then now they feel like they don't have to do anything. Another question that we need to, keep in mind is there willingness or just defensiveness? Is the other partner willing to help, or they start to get defensive? See, I have this issue with my husband. I have to be beefing, begging, and everything. There's like no willingness. He gets defensive and he gets really upset, and then he starts doing it wrong. Remember we talked about weaponizing it? When he starts acting like he doesn't know how to do something, he does it wrong purposely, so I don't ask him again. That's the type of behavior I get. Okay? What accountability actually looks like, okay? Taking initiative, you guys. This is what accountability actually looks like. Your partner taking initiative, learning without being told, because just like I learned to play mom and play caretaker and nurse and cook and chef and everything else in the house and learned everything on my own, that's the same way I expect you to learn too. Okay? If you wanted to play house, you need to learn the same thing I learned. Learning without being told. Sharing the mental load, not just tasks. The other partner needs to learn how to share the mental load of the kids, the mental load of the extracurricular activities, of school, of appointments, of everything. Because you didn't bring these kids by yourself into the world. You didn't play house by yourself. They decided to play house with you, okay? Now, the question becomes, who do your kids go to first? In my household, my children come to me first, because they're so used to me doing everything. They're so used to me taking care of everything, handling appointments, handling everything, handling responsibility, handling the food shopping, handling the doctors, handling everything. The first person my children come to is me. Hi, Natalie. How are you, baby girl? My kids come to me. We're talking about default parent, Natalie. That means the default parent is the person that carries the most load, the mental load. There's a parent that thinks because they clock out of work that their job is done completely when they decided to play house with you and have children with you. But then they think their job is done because they already provide financially, and they think once they clock out of work, they have no responsibilities at home, and they leave it to the default parent, the parent that carries the whole load within the household. That's what we're talking about. My children come to me first because they know we do everything. And not to be sexist, but it's usually the woman that carries the whole load. The man thinks once they clock out, they don't have shit to do in the house. And that's not right. Like I said before, if you decided to play house with me, you decided to have children with me, we should both be equally responsible for the responsibility of our household. I shouldn't be your caretaker. I shouldn't be having a fifth child, or how many children you have. He shouldn't be your child. You got your children to take care of. They need to pick up on the slack. They're not blind. They see what you're going through with your household. And they should have initiative to help you. Now, there's another question. Have you ever felt like a single parent in a relationship? I have. I'm like, I do everything for these kids. If they miss the bus, I have to take them to school. God forbid I tell my husband that he needs to take one of the kids to an appointment or something. He's not going to give up a day of work to go take him, which sucks. Because how many times did I give up days of work to do it? How much sacrificing did I do as a parent, the default parent, to be able to do things for the kids, or take them to the doctors, or stay home with them when they're sick, or pick them up from school when they're sick? You start to feel like a single parent. You start to question why the other parent's here. Oh, you provide financially? Whoopee, big deal. Because there's moms too that work a job. They get up extra early. They get up the kids for school. They work their job. And if they're called from school, they need to leave their job. Okay? And go do what they have to do for their kids. If the kids have an appointment, they need to leave work, take the kids to the appointment, drop them back off, and come back to work. Then they come out of work, and then they need to deal with the kids at home, the dinner, and everything else. Mothers continue to work 24/7. It's never an off button. That's like the old school way of thinking for these men sometimes. Absolutely. They think that because they work, that their job is done. Then I was talking about earlier in my life, if you didn't catch it, Natalie, like they start to weaponize. Like when you ask them for help, they'll act dumb. Like they don't know what they're doing. Like they don't know what to do, right? They start to act stupid. They weaponize it. Or they do it wrong, so you don't ask them again. Or my husband gives me an attitude, so that I don't ask him again. Which is totally wrong. If you decide to be with a partner, you're not supposed to leave the whole load of your partner on one person. Absolutely not. You decided to play house. You decided to have children. You should be responsible to take care of your children too, and pick up some of the slack. Because us mothers, we don't get an off day. We don't get sick days. We don't get sick time off. And these men think that, okay, I need to provide, so you can't call me out of work. Absolutely not. You need to help. Don't leave the load to one person. Now, the other question is, what's something you do that your partner doesn't even notice? Absolutely, Natalie. We're tired. We're human. We become super human beings with superpowers. There's no off days for us. And these men think because they work, oh my God, I'm so tired. Yeah? You're tired physically, but I'm tired physically and mentally. How about that? Top that. And I gave birth to this little human being. I know you wouldn't live through that. You wouldn't live through giving birth to a human being. And you wouldn't live to waking up in the middle of the night and feeding this little human being and being up most of the night and sleepless nights with this human being. They don't see that shit. Okay? What's something you do that your partner doesn't even notice? My list could go on. Something I do that my partner doesn't even notice. Well, I make sure I cook all the time. And it's like, it's expected already in this point. So he doesn't even notice it anymore. And sometimes I'll make special dinners, you guys. And he doesn't even notice it anymore. Because it's like, in his mind, it's already expected. Well, she needs to cook because I'm working. Listen, motherfucker, I don't need to do shit. Because if anything, I have teenagers. I could tell these kids to make themselves a sandwich, some mac and cheese or something, a Chef Boyardee, and I could sit my ass there and I don't need to do shit. You know what I'm saying? It's expected from the other partner. It's already expected. They expect you to cook. They expect you. Like, my husband will come home sometimes. He's like, can you take out some pajamas for me so I can go shower? Like, really? Do you see me cooking? Do you have arms and legs? I can do it sometimes, but it's not all the time. But it's now expected. Clean clothes in those drawers every night. Absolutely. How did that happen? For real, like, what the fuck? Like, today, I was going to cook. I had to go to Market Basket. He gets home earlier from work, and it's like, he looks around, dinner's not done yet. Usually dinner's done. And he starts making himself something, and he didn't look too happy. Well, I don't give a fuck. Because you know what? All day I've been taking care of everything else and running errands and doing 20,000 things. And I'm only human. Because you know what's the fucked up part, you guys? In the mornings, he knows I have a battle. I have 4 kids to get up in the morning. And they all have to shower. And they all have to be downstairs by 7:30 in the morning. 4 of them. And one of them is very difficult. My daughter, she takes forever. My son, when he's in the shower too, he takes forever. And my other daughter too. But that daughter that takes forever in the shower, she also takes forever putting on makeup and doing 20,000 things. He hears my battle every fucking morning. And he's laying in bed like Sleeping Beauty while I'm bursting a vein, partially causing myself an aneurysm and possibly a heart attack. And maybe a stroke. And he'll just act like he doesn't hear it. He's like in a deep sleep. You know, he'll act like he doesn't, you know, like he doesn't get up. And then, look at the fucked up part, right? Absolutely not. I'm serious. I'm not even kidding you. I'm yelling my brains out. Get the fuck out the door. Get your shit out. Come on, grab your shit. I woke you up early. He could hear me yelling. And God forbid I wake him up. Because he'd be so pissed off. Then, the fucked up part. This is where it gets fucked up. Because there's a lot of partners out there like this, okay? The fucked up part is, when the kids walk out the door, already out of the house, and I go finally to come smoke a cigarette downstairs, as soon as I get upstairs, he's getting ready for work. Like, mister, where the fuck was your brain and you and your antennas while I was fucking causing myself a heart attack like not too long ago? All of a sudden, it's like, oh, I'm wide awake. I could get up and get ready myself. Oh, it pisses me off, bro. There's a lot of parents that need to take responsibility. Yo, I be losing my motherfucking patience. And then he be wondering why I got a fucking attitude and I got a stank face. In the mornings before he go to work. I love you. And I'm like, Why do you want to talk to somebody like that? You just heard me. You hear me go through this every fucking day. And you don't even make the effort to get up and say, I'm going to help you with the kids this morning. You have to go to work anyways. Why can't you do it? You know what I'm saying? Can you get up one morning? Can I stay in bed for like you? Like a Sleeping Beauty? No. I have to fucking have high blood pressure in the morning. My blood sugar is probably going low because I don't have diabetes, but my blood sugars drop. And it's more of an emotional diabetes. And it's just, you could hear me fucking going batshit crazy in the morning, but then wakes up once the kids go out the door, which is not cool. And there's a lot of mothers out here that be going through the same shit. The husbands get up, they be out the door, they got no fucks in the world, they give no fucks in the world, they just want to go out the fucking door, okay? Absolutely, Natalie. I haven't even eaten breakfast. I haven't had coffee or anything. At that time, I haven't had anything in my system. I just go downstairs to have a cigarette. I come back upstairs, the kids are out the fucking door, and he wide awake getting ready for work. A lot of these parents, and this goes for women too, because there's women that are like this. They won't for the life of them. I've seen men taking the role of doing this by themselves too. The other parent needs to take the fucking responsibility and stop acting like it's one parent that needs to take up all this fucking load. It's unfair. You decided to play house with your partner, right? You decided to be in a relationship or in a marriage. You decided to have children. That doesn't mean you had a good time having children, right? That doesn't mean that the other parent has to take up the whole load by themselves. Like me, I'll give you an example. I haven't been to work in a month, a little bit over a month. But I had a fractured rib and I had a lot going on with my daughter. Now, I plan on going back to work again. But even before I took this time off, it was like I had to get up, right? Had to get the kids off to school. Had to prepare his lunch. Had to make him his coffee. Had to get ready for work and then be out the door and be at work. And then come out of work, come make sure the kids got home. And then that would, before he had his car, I had to pick him up out of work. And then I had to get dinner on the table. And plus whatever laundry and everything else that I had to carry. Plus if the kids had to go to work, I had to drop them off from at work. And then sometimes pick them up. It was a big load, you guys. We're only human. We're only human. This happens to a lot of parents out there. There's that one parent that won't help for the life of them because they think once they punch out of work, that their job is done. Oh, I punched out of work. But listen, what they don't, and then they start to weaponize it. It is a lot, Natalie. Let me tell you something. They'll start saying, oh, well, I'm tired from work. I'm stressed out from work. Hello? At least you get paid for your stress, sir. You get paid to be stressed at work. I don't get paid to be stressed. My shit is for free. You get paid to be stressed. You get paid to be drained physically. I don't get paid to be drained physically and mentally and for working hard in my home and with the children and everything. I don't get paid for that shit. At least you get paid. I'm tired too. We're human. You're physically tired, but I'm mentally and physically tired. You get what I'm saying? There's always that one parent that leaves the load. Right? I'm going to ask you guys something. The day that you do nothing, right? This is a scenario. I'm giving you guys a scenario, right? What would fall apart if you stopped? What do you think would fall apart in your home if you stopped doing everything you did or do in your house? Now, I can go on with my list. My list is bigger than Santa's. My list is bigger than the naughty and the nice list. Everything. Hi, Tiny. How are you? Everything would fucking fall apart in my house. And I have proved that. I remember one time, you guys, maybe in 2022, maybe, I got really depressed because I had a big load, okay? No dinner made, no laundry done. I can keep going. Yeah, absolutely. We have the big list. Listen, I remember 2022, I went into a depression, you guys, because I had so much load on me and I was having problems with my husband. Like he made me feel alone and he wouldn't help me. He would leave most of the load on me and I had so much going on. And I got depressed and I stopped doing anything at home. When I tell you I stopped cleaning, I stopped doing laundry, I stopped cooking. It came to the point I didn't want to get out of bed, okay? When I tell you, my house was fucking falling apart. My house it looked like somebody threw a bomb in my house and it was set off and everything was blown up together. That's how bad it was. The walls were filthy. The bathrooms were filthy. There was clothes everywhere. Trash everywhere. When I tell you the fucking house fell apart, it fucking fell apart. So I don't even need to put it to the test. I'm telling you from an experience from 2022. If I was to stop everything I'm doing and what I've been doing for so many years, with the kids, the appointments, the extracurricular, the house, and everything that I do on a daily, it would be the end of the world. There are times, right? I'll give you an example. There are times that I'm too tired. Like, I make lunch for my husband most of the time for work. And there are times that I just don't want to do it because I'm tired and I want to sleep in just a little bit, like you did, Sleeping Beauty. Okay? Like, you slept through me yelling at the kids and I was causing myself almost a heart attack and you didn't get up. You got up once they walked out the door, right? Oh, God forbid. God forbid. Soon as I don't do that lunch, it's like it's expected now. Oh, he starts slamming shit, making his own shit, throwing shit in the bag, throwing a petty scene. And at first, I used to give a fuck. I used to be like, feeling like some type of way. Then it came to the point that I was like, fuck that. That's some type of manipulation because it's already expected. I have right as a human to say, I'm not going to make no motherfucker some lunch today. I'm not doing something today. You have right to say no sometimes because you already do it all the fucking time. You have the right to stop and not do something one day. Today, I was stressing out in the middle of the day. I was like, oh my God, I need to get upstairs and I need to like get some shit done because, oh my God, like people going to see, like, it creates a fucking PTSD within you. Because now you feel like everybody expects it in the home, including the kids and my husband. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to come home. Like, this was my mind, you guys, earlier. And then I stopped myself. I was like, what the fuck am I thinking? What am I doing? It became a PTSD from so many years. Oh my God, if I don't get something done and this is not done, then they're going to think I didn't do anything all day. And like, I'm going to feel like I ain't do shit, like I ain't shit. Like, no. And then when I started walking upstairs, I said, what the hell am I talking about? What am I thinking? No. So you know what I did, you guys? I crawled into the bed. And I relaxed. That's what I did. Then I hopped into the shower. And my husband finally got home from work. And he's like, where you going? I said, I'm getting ready to go to Market Basket, get some stuff. Then he was like, you know, making himself some dinner. But he didn't look too happy. I don't give a fuck. You could wait. You're not going to die for an extra hour. By the way, I made some chicken parm. I made some chicken parmesan over some fettuccine. Very good. And my other daughter doesn't like the pasta, so I had to make her chicken sandwiches with lettuce, tomato, and the whole 9 yards. But you guys where I'm coming from, it creates a PTSD. If I wasn't to do shit in my house, that shit would fucking fall apart. I already proved it back in 2022. And you guys, when I tell you I went into a depression, like, it took me a long time to get back on my feet. And it took me a long time to get my house in order. It was like almost I became a hoarder even of mail. There was so much papers everywhere. I'm still trying to get rid of it today. I just let everything build. Then I started to get slowly back on top of my game. And now I push the kids to help me too. Y'all niggas is old enough. Everybody's teenagers and adults here. And my husband's mindset is that he works and he doesn't have to do anything in the house. That's his mindset. And I always get into it with him with that. I'm like, no, sir. Just because you provide doesn't mean you don't need to do shit in this house. You dirty shit just as bad as everybody else here. And that's our constant battle. Okay? My constant battle with my husband is that. We always need to be getting into it because he thinks because he provides financially that he don't need to do shit in the house. That once he's done at work, he comes home, he can just relax, he can shower, he can play the virtual reality game, whatever the fuck he does, the PS5. He thinks he can just come home and do that. And that's it. Because he worked all day. Yeah? Did you ask me what I did all fucking day? Running around since this morning. I've been up since 5 only. You know what I'm saying? I've only done 20,000 things today. It's a mindset, like Natalie said. It's almost like an old school mindset. Fuck that. We ain't in the old school anymore. We're not in those times anymore. That used to be before. And if you notice, a lot of the women from before that lived this lifestyle of the old school ways, they got old fast. And not only did they get old fast, they got sick and just run down immediately, really fast. You guys notice? All those women that lived that lifestyle just ran down really fast. And I'll be fucking damned. Because my body's been feeling so run down from all these years of this fucking responsibility and everything falling on me. And so now I've determined myself, right? So I got my patches to quit smoking. I'm determined. I'm going to quit smoking. I'm determined. I'm taking my vitamins every day now. I'm trying to get lots of water in. I'm trying to eat lots of protein. I'm determined, you guys. I'm going to work on me, because if I don't take care of myself, nobody is. Okay? So I'm determined. And I refuse to end up like my mother, may God rest her soul, that she ran herself down living this lifestyle of making sure she's working, taking care of the kids. She carried all the load. Everything, she carried it with 6 kids. I have 4, plus my son's girlfriend. That's 5. And then, obviously, I'm the caretaker to my husband, too, because depending on him, we're just going to still stay in the same boat. But it's the point. I refuse, and I'll be damned if I'm going to run myself down any more than what I have run myself down already. So that's what I'm working on, you guys, okay? And you guys should start doing the same. You're not alone in your relationship. They made kids with you. They decided to play house with you. They need to put their part. Their time doesn't stop in helping because they clocked out of work. You're human too. You deserve to be helped, okay? So, as I said, everything will fucking fall apart in your house. You guys just named a few things. I have a whole list. Everything. I proved it in 2022. Everything will fall apart in my house if I didn't continue to carry the weight. Okay? Now, being the default parent isn't about doing more. Okay? The default parent is the parent that carries all the load. Okay? It's about carrying a weight that was supposed to be shared. It was a weight that you were supposed to have 50-50 with your partner. It isn't about doing more. It's about carrying the whole weight that you're carrying, that you were supposed to, that you went into this relationship, into this marriage or boyfriend, girlfriend, and you had kids with. It was the weight that was supposed to be equal with your partner, not only on you. Okay? And remember, and love doesn't mean silently over functioning while your partner under functions. Just because you love your partner, it doesn't mean you need to fucking vigorously overfunction and overdo and carry the whole weight while your partner is there fucking airing his balls or airing her coochie or airing her ass, or he's airing his ass just because they worked. Just because you love somebody doesn't mean that you need to carry the whole weight. They need to put their part too. Just because they clocked out of work doesn't mean their job is done. You clocked out of work, right? And your job wasn't done with your children and your household. So what makes them special? Absolutely not. That's the way I see that shit. Everybody in a household, a man and a woman that decide to be together and have children and bring into this world, you're both supposed to take equal responsibility with your household. Let it be with chores. Let it be with dishes. Okay, I cook, you wash the dishes. Or he cooks, I wash the dishes. You know, kind of even it out. Take turns with chores in the house and with the kids too. Because we're only human. Stop leaving the load on one partner. Because resentment is going to build. They're going to be detached from you. They're going to get tired. And eventually, it's going to come to the point that they feel single. They feel like they're not with nobody. And they're like, well, since I've been taking care of the household this whole time, I used to tell my husband all the time, since I'm taking care of this household and everything the whole time by myself, and I'm carrying the weight by myself, then I might as well be by myself. And that's what's going to end up happening. The default partner is going to get so tired of carrying the whole fucking load that they're just going to fucking leave. They're already doing it by themselves. What's the difference of them doing it by themselves somewhere else? With the kids, by themselves, not having the stress of you, not having the stress of you making messes in their house and dirtying what they just cleaned, and watching you take a whole bunch of breaks in the house and just airing your balls or airing your coochie. What's the difference? You start to think like that. It's going to come in time that they're going to end up leaving because they don't want to deal with it anymore. Because they didn't sign up to be your manager. They didn't sign up to be your parent. They didn't sign up to be your caretaker. They signed up to be your partner. Equal. Even the Bible says it. The Bible says the woman was given to the man as equal help. Equal. And there's men that think that they're way above here than their women. And they need to be coming down from that cloud. Just vice versa. There's women that think that they're all the way up here above their partner because they're providing the bread in the household. And some dads are stay-at-home dads because either they lost a job or they need to find a new job or something. No. Just because you work doesn't mean you don't have the equal responsibility, because the other parent that stays home also carries a big load. And sometimes the other parent doesn't stay home. They also have a job and take care of the house. You know what I'm saying? Your partner needs to start seeing what you bring into the table and bring just equal as much. They need to stop taking advantage. Because some of these motherfuckers be taking advantage, okay? Don't make up excuses like, you like things done a certain way, or this and that, or they'll do it badly so you don't ask them again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fuck that. You didn't come to this world and be with your partner and have kids with them to become a default partner and a default parent. You didn't. It's a teammate thing. You're both supposed to be a team moving forward, taking care of your household together. When you fall, I pick you up. When I fall, you pick me up. When I can't do something, you do it. And when you can't do something, I try to do it. And if you lost your job, I'll pick up that slack, but I'll still help you. And if I lost my job, you'll pick up that slack and I'll still help you. It's supposed to be equal. Stop leaving the load on your other partner with your house, with your children, with everything that comes with life. Help them. Because if you don't start helping your partner and leaving everything up to them, they are going to fucking walk away. And with that being said, I am your host, The Unforgettable. And thank you for being here in the Unfiltered Corner. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to turn on your notifications. I'm live every night at 7 p.m. here at the Unfiltered Corner. Thank you for being here, you guys. God bless. Have a good night. And I hope everything I talked about tonight and every time I talk, is good advice for you guys, and it's good help. Peace.